One of the things I like a lot about working in learning is that you do meet some really cool people. You meet some great people, and I like learning from my peers. Somebody I learned something from a while ago was Clive Shepherd, who I remember saying learning changes very slowly. And actually, I think that's one of the things that you note about learning. It has changed tremendously slowly. I think my disappointment has been tempered with the experience, but I think learning generally hasn't changed very much, and I think that's a cause for concern. I think that's partly because learning isn't sufficiently self-critical. There's a set of norms, a set of practices. You stand up, you talk about something, you write things on boards, and people are just continuing to do that. And I think you in any industry, and especially in learning, you have to be self-critical if you want it to kind of move forwards. By that, I mean I still think there's a lot of solutioneering, despite the work of people like Nigel Harrison and this whole kind of performance consulting approach. I still think people aren't thinking about the problem that they're trying to solve. Instead, they've already got a solution and they're trying to apply it to a problem. And that goes a little bit further, because I think part of the reason for that is that they haven't really been driven away from that approach by a more rigorous, thorough approach to evaluation. Evaluation is one of those things that we keep talking about it. I just don't think we've got to the bottom of it. I don't think Kirkpatrick is really providing kind of much insight, and I don't think I see many people actually implementing it to a really kind of deep degree. So I think learning quite often sort of misunderstands itself. So the chances that it's going to properly kind of evaluate its contribution, I think, are very slim. I think one of the things which has raised a lot of questions has been the increased awareness about the role that informal learning plays. So to an increasing degree, learning now understands, formal learning, training and development departments, that they're actually only a very small part of the picture. So I think evaluation has become an increasingly difficult thing to talk about and to talk about coherently. And just to kind of finish that off, I think still people are implementing technology, learning technology, without really thinking about how it's going to be used. So, you know, I think back to the heady days of e-learning when everyone was going to buy an LMS and some courses and it was going to solve everybody's problems. And I'm just seeing this kind of history repeating itself with the sort of if you build it, they will come approach. So I think those are some of the sort of the deeper issues within learning technology and within learning. I think the reasons why learning hasn't changed, it sort of harks back to this sort of self-critical ability, and I think if you continue being self-critical, eventually you get to the bottom of things, and I think that's what hasn't happened. So what I'm saying by that is that I don't think we understand learning. So I don't think we have a model which will tell us what good learning is. I don't think we have a model which will tell us what good teachers are. I think sometimes you spot it, sometimes you experience it, but we don't have a way of systematizing it. It's actually quite straightforward. If you ask people about teachers that they remember, and I do this quite a lot from school, they'll tell you a story about teachers who really connected with them. And that has to, I think, lie at the heart of good learning. And I don't think a lot of learning really connects with people.